Hey gang, welcome to another Futaba video by Grim Racer in the Trophy Hunter series of videos. Today what I'd like to talk a little bit about is data reset. And I know you probably all have it figured out, but I find it pretty handy and pretty useful. As well as model copy and some of that information. So anyway, I've got my trusty 7PX Limited here, and I also have the brand new 7PXR USLE radio here. Beautiful radio, by the way. Along with that, I've got my trusty little 4 gig micro SD card, and my manual, my trusty highlighter, my stylus pen. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is model copy, and I found that pretty handy to at least be pretty fluent in it. Anytime you want to mess around with some boat settings and you're really not sure that you are going to be happy with this, maybe you want to try something different on a setup, go ahead and copy that model. You got 40 model memory. Copy that model down into the model menu somewhere, you know, anywhere that you've got an open slot, unless of course you've got 40 boats on there. In any case, let's do a model copy. So a couple interesting things about model copy. You can copy a model over from, let's say, your tunnel boat, and you can move it on down the menu list, the model list, to an open slot and or an open location and copy it there. Or you can put it on a micro SD and, well, either save that setup, okay, or if you have another radio that you're wanting to try, like my 7PXR USLE, I'm going to want to take my VS1 or my tunnel boat and move it over to that radio to give that radio a try. Alright, you can do this with, doesn't matter what kind of boat it is, of course. You've got 40 model menu or 40 models to choose from in the 7PX and the 7PXR, so it's an easy copy over. A couple notes. The micro SD has to be between 4 and 32 gig. Any less or any more, it won't work. Yes, you can still buy a 2 gig card, and they're expensive. Go figure. Anyway, we wouldn't use it anyway. So a 4 to 32 gig, that's you've got to have that to be able to do this function. So model copy. I'm going to go ahead and make a little note. I've got my trusty marker here, and I've marked this as under model copy. The contents can also be stored on the SD card for copying to another 7PX. Cool. And of course you can copy it over. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and crank up the my trusty 7PX, and I'm actually going to go over here to the user menu, model select. I'm going to grab this top VS1. Okay. So here it is. Let's go ahead, and I'm just to prove that here's the sub trim, and you can see the brake is actually at positive 32, just to give you some idea, and that'll come into play when we do the model reset. So so anyway, so now we're basically just floating along. We already know we're going to go to menu, the model menu, and model copy. There it is. We can take the VS1 and make it the 21 mono. Well, we know we don't want to do that. There's my VS1. We're going to go ahead and click this, and we're going to put it under 5. I've already done that, but I'm just showing you. I can copy over a model. Okay, close. I'm going to back out of this. And the reason I'm going to do that is we're going to the model select, and you can see here's the new model that I created. We're going to select that model, and in that, let's go check the settings. Sub trim, remember that 32 plus? Okay, I'm going to back out of this for a minute. Let's just add this in now, because I find this pretty handy. Here's a menu, model menu, data reset, model data. We wouldn't want to do user menu. Well, maybe we would. our telemetry or all data. This is just specifically with this model. We're going to go ahead and reset the data with this model. Now check this out. Are you sure? Yep, I want to reset the data on that model. Remember, we've selected model 6. Model 6, I think it was, which was my second copy of the VS1. All right, here we are. I'm going to back out of this. And remember, if we go over to subtrim, you can see it's at 0. So all the data within that model is gone. But what's interesting is, under model select, it still says Villain S1. Now, it'd be nice if it just cleared it out, but it really doesn't know what model number it is at that point. You can see the ones that I've deleted in the past, they don't say model 7, model 8. I mean, it's just that position. So let's go ahead and we can actually go there. We're already at that model, I guess. And we're going to go to menu, model name, and I'm just going to wipe that model out. Okay. So when I go to the user menu and I select a model, you can see that we took the VS1, we moved it over to 5, we copied it to 5. That's pretty cool. We could use it there, we could play with it, we wouldn't lose the settings on that one. We could do a data reset on this one if we so choose, wipe out all the memory, and then if you want to, you can even get rid of the name of it, right? It becomes inconsequential whether it says model 7, model 6, model 5. That's really kind of inconsequential. It doesn't really matter. So you can see, pretty handy. So that in a nutshell is model copy. You can take any one of these models and move them on down to any other model or overwrite another model. That you have to be careful with. Oh yeah, there's Humble Bumble. Old number 6 is running. Humble Bumble's terrorizing my layout. So anyway, that's how you do a model copy. And it works pretty good. Now let's go ahead and model copy to our micro SD. And the reason that this is important is we can move these copied models over to another transmitter, another 7PX, 7PXR. If somebody needed, if I was, let's say I dropped a radio and I broke it or something, you know, I don't know, and I had these on my USB card, I'd be able to plunk them into my buddy's 7PX and my models would be in a 7PX. So it's not a bad idea. Once you have models, say it's the end of the year and everything is going really good, plunk them onto a USB, bam, you're good to go. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn this off. We're going to go ahead and take this, I've got a 4 gig micro SD, and we're going to put it in the back of the transmitter. Let me do that. Hang tight. All right. This is tricky. And the reason that this actually works pretty well. When we turn the 7PX on, we're just going to turn it on like we normally do. It's going to create a folder on that 4 gig card or on your micro SD card called Futaba. We've heard that before. And then what we're going to do is inside that Futaba folder is where those model copies will go. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And it went ahead and it created a folder called Futaba in that. And you can actually see the little micro SD symbol here. Just letting you know that there's a micro SD in there. And again, you turn that on, Futaba folder gets created. We could verify that on my laptop, but it's there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. We're going to go to menu. Same thing. Model. Wait a minute. Yeah, model menu. Model copy. You can see now we have the choice between internal memory or micro SD. Well, we don't have any models on the micro SD, so that's not going to work. But if I go to copy to the micro SD card, we're going to take the Villain S1 and we're going to copy it to the micro SD card. Here we go. Are we sure? You bet. Close. As a matter of fact, I can go here and I can select all of my models and send them to the micro SD card. My Sport 40. The Jag 21. All right. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is basically you can exit out of this and turn the power off. I'm going to do that. Hang on, it's fumbly, so I'm going to remove the micro SD card. We'll put it on my laptop, and I'll show you what that folder looks like with those items. Hang tight. All right, so we went ahead and installed this micro SD into my laptop. I'm actually gonna, and in that we have the Futaba folder. There it is. So that's awesome. There it is. And what's in that Futaba folder? There should be model folder, and there are the 4 models that I moved over. Now they don't say the model name. Basically, they're by a number designation. All right, but it's .mdl model. I get it. So anyway, there they are in the folder. Now back out of here. That's where your log and your picture folder would be. And you can see here's the 2 support transmitters that I support using an SD card, 7px, 4pm, and of course the Futaba folder we just created. Okay, so hang tight while I put that in the 7pxr USLE, and we'll copy them into there. Hang tight. All right, gang, I went ahead and installed the micro SD into the 7pxr USLE. Let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead and fire this radio up. And remember, I've got the card in, and there's the little card reminder, if you will. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to menu, model copy, and we're going to copy from the micro SD, and we're going to select, you can see them here, VS1 21 Mono Sport 40 Jag 21. We're going to take the Villain S1 and we're going to copy it to the internal memory, and we want to make it model 1. So from the micro SD card to Villain S1, copied to internal memory model 1. Probably a little bit of, I'll have to figure out how to get rid of this. Let me see if this works better over here. See if you can see it better. Nope, hang on. Anyway, sorry about that. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy that. Yep, I'm sure. I'm going to close that. I'm going to back out of here. And the reason I'm going to do that is so we can actually go to the model select menu, and there you can see the Villain S1 as model 1. So I've literally taken a model from the 7px limited that I have and moved it over into a micro SD card, and then moved it over to my 7pxr USLE. Now, one thing that's, from my standpoint, that's a little bit different is I actually set my trigger up so it doesn't go back, right? I use a button to shut my motors off. So I still have work as regarding moving the throttle stop on my radio, but to give you an idea, that's how it would work. It wouldn't be very simple for me personally because of my personal preferences in setting these radios up for me to just, I can operate the boat without that, but other people can't use my radio very easily without instruction on how to get that done. Anyway, so what did we do today? We did a model copy, and we copied from or within the model menus that we have in our 7px. And we took and we copied models from the 7px to a micro SD and moved them over to another radio. Another thing we did was we also went ahead and moved that. And we did a data reset. If you remember, data reset is actually pretty handy. You can go ahead and do a model copy if you want and reset the data on that second model. Maybe call it something else, maybe, or whatever. But you can do a data reset if you've got the thing all kind of jacked up and maybe you're not happy with the way it's running and you just want to redo it. Well, I typically don't redo your original. Get a model copy over there. Call it whatever boat 2 or whatever boat 3, at least until you find what you like. Because you can always move that over back into that same slot. Number 1, let's say your tunnel boat's number 1, your mono's number 2, your Sport 40's number 3, and so on. You can move those models back into those positions by using model copy. So anyway, I hope that helps. I know this can be a little bit laborious, and none of it's all that hard. So just check your manual. Again, data reset is 176 in the in your Futaba 7PX manual and 172 model copy in your 7PX manual. Anyway, I hope this helps, and we'll get back to it and see you down at the pond.